What can a reader expect to learn from governing the machine? We all know that, as we talked about, and we often talk about, we all think AI is here to stay and will only be increasing in import in the years to come. And we want everyone to take full advantage of its potential. We want companies to approach it safely and use it widely with governance principles in mind. We know that a lot of companies right now today do not have governance
Mm.
frameworks in place. I've seen statistics that up to 90% of companies are using AI in a meaningful way, but less than a third have governance frameworks in place. Meanwhile, the three of us know that governance frameworks are the key to success. There are so many studies, including McKinsey's 2025 State of AI study, showing that CEO oversight of AI governance is one of the strongest predictors of bottom line impact from generative AI. So to Ray's point, companies are not seeing an ROI. Well, that's, we would argue, because they don't have governance in place. So let's start from ground zero. What are the first steps, Ray, you'd recommend a company take to implement effective AI governance?
I think probably it starts with the leadership. I've thought about this quite a lot, and there's a lot of places you can start, and it'll be interesting. Yourself and Paul may have slightly different views on this, but I would say finding a committed leader at the top of the organization. I personally don't think it matters particularly which part of the organization they come from. So it might be from the data AI part of the business, it might be from legal, it might be from information security. What I think is critical is having someone who really believes that this is something that needs to be done. They also need to have the budget, and they need to have enough corporate clout, if you like, or political will to corral people across different parts of the organization, because this will have to be a collaborative effort across many different departments or functions, if you like, within the organization. But Paul, I mean, you've set this up in other organizations. Where have you started?
Yeah, I mean, Ray, I have to agree. It's getting the buy-in from very senior leadership. So the board, the CIO, and the CEO. I've been very fortunate that the two banks where I've led this work, our executives have been really keen to understand and really keen to run with this idea. If I pick one thing, what comes to mind, creating an ethics council or an ethics panel, as we say at NatWest, has been really key. It's been a very, very powerful thing that says to all areas of the bank, if you have an AI use case, it will be assessed. That assessment, which we talk a lot about in the book, could then give rise to a panel being convened of people from diverse and different backgrounds that can look at the use case to determine if there's an accidental, right, an unintentional risk of that system. Any risks that the Ethics Council actually finds are always unintentional, right? It's never in the designer's mind. So it's spotting those accidental areas of risk that could come about through the deployment of AI. And that's been such a powerful thing. It's been a powerful message for our regulators here in the UK, and a powerful message back to the board so that we can assimilate those learnings back into our risk management practice. So I see the Ethics Council being a key thing, but if I go back and I think about everything, we don't have the buy-in of the most senior leaders. This becomes a very, very difficult thing to do. Unfortunately, I've seen occasion where some of my colleagues trying to do my role, they've ended up working in compliance, or they've ended up working in legal, which really doesn't give AI risk management, I think, the first-class status that it really needs within an organization. And kind of once established at a senior level, we can then use the apparatus of the enterprise risk management framework to really deal with AI risk as a first-class citizen. So that's what I've seen there.
Yeah, once again, we're completely aligned. I agree that the survey is an important place to start. You really can't do the work of governance, and you should not be using AI if you're not starting with a survey in your organization of how you're using AI and how you expect to use AI. And the only way to answer that is a multi-stakeholder discussion across your C-suite. You have to have your general counsel so that they can be your partner from the beginning. You have to have your chief HR officer. I love the study that reveals that a year ago, 80 3% of chief HR officers mentioned that they were using AI in their HR systems, but only 48% of general counsels answered the same, that they were using AI in their HR systems. There's a disconnect. You need to bring everyone to the table to survey where you're using it. But at the end of the day, if you don't have C-suite buy-in, if you don't have that accountability, your program can't work.